darkness took me. I felt life in me again. Gandalf.
Gandalf.
I am Gandalf the White. And I come back to you now. At the turn of the tide.
Who in the world does the richest man want to impress by creating the most expensive series in film history? It's not Hollywood celebs or DC politicos, because Jeff Bezos can buy them in bulk for a discount. And we definitely know it's not the fans. And I have even more proof of that. A video that Prime UK delisted from their YouTube channel, which confirms that they are not dedicated to faithfully recreating the majesty and magic of Tolkien's lore and legacy. So who's left to be impressed by the Rings of Power trailer? All that remains is God and the devil. And my bet is that Jeff Bezos, thinking that he's the Almighty himself, is going to do his damnedest to sink to his lowest to get a high five from the Prince of Darkness. Welcome, Slayer Nation. It is another fantastic day at George the Giant Slayer, and I hope all of you are having an outstanding week. My best to you and yours. This is a moment of truth for Amazon. They released a promo video titled The Lord of the Rings, the Superfans review the Rings of Power teaser trailer. Now, this should have simply been a no-brainer celebration of all things Tolkien. Instead, it served as conclusive evidence of Prime's treachery to pull the wool over the public's eyes while they skulk in the shadows, mining anger in order to mint hate. Their whole work is designed to divide people, and instead, the entire world of fandom united to stand against them. And their video was sent a death knell delivered by every fan in Rohirrim that was charging the battlements to highlight Amazon's shame. Now, if you're new to the channel, take a moment. It'll only take a minute, but push the subscribe button down below and join the conversation at Slayer Nation. Now, I'm going to share with you the new public faces of Amazon's Lord of the Rings of Power. Now, I'm going to share with you a few clips which distill down to the essence what each panelist thinks. Let's first begin with panelist Mistah Islah. Islah is a professional actor and a BBC presenter. When I checked all of their online profiles, I could find nothing that had to do with Tolkien. Islah especially, he has videos on lifting weights and sports and helping you to get in shape. Plus, based on his religion and some music, he's an independent filmmaker. But Tolkien, zero. Let's hear what he has to say.
It's Middle-earth, there's never peace, right?
It's Middle-earth, there's never peace, right?
And we're not 5 seconds in. He says, it's Middle-earth. There's never peace. So that tells us two things. A, it either wasn't scripted or he didn't prepare well enough as a professional actor. Well, that's one down, 3 to go. Next, we have Joel Rochester. Joel is a professional book reviewer. He has a YouTube channel and Twitter and Instagram, and he reads and criticizes books, and then he goes all around the world holding these round-robin reviews, lecturing, and reading all the books he's sharing. And I looked through every single video. What did I find? I found books from Oprah Winfrey's book club, and then I found some which were named like, What Would the World Be Without a Cat? I found the Percy Jackson series. But Tolkien, nothing. But I kept telling myself, there's no way. I have to dig more. I have to do more research on it. It's not possible for a professional critic not to have Tolkien and then be on a show where they're saying these are the greatest Tolkien lovers. So I found his Goodreads profile, and I systematically went through category by category until at last I found he does indeed know Tolkien. Maybe. In the might read section, Joel Rochester might one day read at number 55, J.R.R. Tolkien's The Silmarillion. Yep. Let's hear what Joel has to say.
I'm very excited for it because Tolkien's work was always about being inclusive. I mean, we see it through the Fellowship, like a bunch of people from different backgrounds coming together in order to face a common enemy, being Sauron.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
And just seeing the casting decisions, it's really, really exciting to see. It's just gonna mean so much to like me personally, because it's getting that representation in Middle-earth. Young kids are gonna see that on screen, and it's just gonna be really nice for them to be like, oh hey, there's someone that looks just like me.
Wow. Unbelievable. It's like Joel started that conversation about diversity and inclusivity and how he's so moved by Amazon's The Rings of Power teaser trailer that he's just beside himself. He's like, him and every child will be able to look and see themselves on screen and go, wow, I finally count for something. I can see myself a carbon copy, because if you can't do that, that's just sad. I don't know what to say. I mean, could you imagine going back and telling Mel Gibson while he's filming Apocalypto, hey, Mel, I know this is all about mines, but where are the Mongolians? Where are the Russians, Canadians, Chinese, anyone? Just mines? Well, I know it's Mayan history, but you get my drift. He started a conversation with all the panelists, and all of them started talking about, wow, you know, we all love Tolkien. We've loved it since we were wee high little kids. And I started wondering, how did they like and love Tolkien without an emotional connection, which is the foundation for any book? You want to enjoy it, you have to be tied to it somehow. But only now are they saying that there is a connection between them and Tolkien's Lord of the Rings, which is actually Amazon's The Rings of Power series. I know it's logic. It might stump them, but you never know. Maybe one of them will see this one day and answer that. Let's go to panelist number 3.
Hello, my name is Chanel William. I'm currently a full-time content creator on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube.
This is Chanel Williams. Now, Chanel is a TikTok star. She's got around 2.5 million followers, 100 plus million likes, and she's got a YouTube channel, Twitter, and Instagram. I looked at all her stuff, and what did I find? She does a lot of Harry Potter memes. She dresses up as Hermione. You get the drift. Any Tolkien? No. Let's hear her.
I've seen a lot of talking about my girl Galadriel.
Yeah, I love Galadriel.
That part in the trailer when she come around waterfall with the knife and like,
Yes.
Unbelievable. So, Joel believes if you don't have the right melanin, he can't connect because he can't see a carbon copy of himself on screen. And now we have Chanel, who's like, you know what? That's my girl Galadriel, Morfydd Clark's Galadriel, because, you know, you got to see your woman. You got to go on chromosomes now. So that scene right there, that's Morfydd Clark's Galadriel climbing Helcarax. She's in the frozen lands, which is also called the grinding ice between Aman and Middle-earth. And Amazon decided it would be a great way to put her in full plate metal. So by the time she actually does reach Middle-earth, she won't actually have any meat on her bones. Now, what do you say we try for panelist number 4? Maybe we'll get lucky and one of them, the last one, might actually know something about Tolkien, might even have a little love. Panelist number 4 is Kelsey Ellison. Kelsey is an actor, dancer. She's even an independent filmmaker who makes fan films, and she's an advocate pushing Hollywood to open up the entertainment industry to the disabled. Plus, she's something else that I found called an odorite. That's how she started. I didn't know what it meant. It's about people who imitate K-pop stars, their music and their dance style. I searched everything I could find on her, every video, every TikTok. Nothing on Tolkien, but some people like to keep their closest loves, their biggest loves, close to the chest, you know, private. Let's hear what she says.
Like there needs to be a reason for the rings to be made, right? So obviously with the wars happening, and then like, oh, and then like, oh,
What was the reason?
I think that's about enough. We actually have covered enough of that video. We get the drift. None of them love Tolkien. None of them even have heard of him. They may at one time have seen one of Peter Jackson's films, but that's about it. The rest of the video, they go on talking about how Sauron, maybe he can be changed, he's misunderstood, maybe he'll fall in love with someone.
Do you think we're going to see another side of Sauron?
Yes.
Like maybe he falls in love.
I
Maybe
mean,
there's a reason. Every villain's a hero in his own story,
I think
right?
we're going to find out more.
people are going to fall in love with him and be like, I can change him.
We all love a bad boy, don't we?
And then you have Chanel will pipe up at some point where she'll say, you know, the Rings of Power series, you know what it's going to do? It's a prequel series, and it's going to stir everybody's imagination. It's going to get them back to Tolkien's original Peter Jackson films. And it possibly might one day make people read the original books. Go figure. Well, Amazon right now, everything that you can see around us is on a defensive backlink. They're in a crouch, being shamed and humiliated around the entire world. Why else do you think a corporation their size would put out a video like this so haphazardly without vetting anyone? It's to fool the public. And that tells you what I shared in the last video. They are losing. We are winning. Now, Amazon may be a giant, but always remember, wherever a giant's around, there's always a slayer standing by in the sunlight. We will not allow them to further disgrace J.R.R. Tolkien's memory or his living mythology of his beautiful Ea and Arda. And remember, never bow down, never bend the knee. Firmly defy and step up, stand tall, and get busy living your best life now. Always forward.
War is coming. Rohan must defend itself, and therein lies our first challenge, for Rohan is weak and ready to fall. The king's mind is enslaved. It's an old device of Saruman's. His hold over King Theoden is now very strong. Sauron and Saruman are tightening the noose.
Every time I was like, okay, take a breath, something new would happen, and it was,
It's Middle-earth, there's never peace, right?
If like Sauron is hot, I feel like people will be like, I can fix him.
Middle-earth had like a club. Yo, this tune is banging!
Awestruck, mystified, and starstruck.
Wow.
and then it was,
Representative, like more diversity within this series.
We're introduced to the first black elf. We're introduced to the first female dwarf. Now, diversity, especially on screen as an actor. Especially on screen as an actor. You know, watching TV and watching a lot of films and stuff. Never saw people of my colour.
About being inclusive and that representation in Middle-earth. Like, oh hey, there's someone that looks just like me. Much more diversity being included as well.
more female representation.
Growing up, like I was still excited about being an elf or a hobbit and joining in with it, even though I wasn't represented. Like even like my disability or my queerness wasn't represented.
Like Sauron basically like helps forge the rings, and so I think they start making like some initial rings that like don't have much power.
Because there's still so much we don't know.
We don't know.
Where are we? Who are they? What's going on?
I mean, give me your theories of who you might have seen in the teaser trailer.
Booyaka! Today we is talking about fashion because it ain't only on the streets.
Give me your theories of who you might have seen in the teaser trailer.
Seen a lot of talking about my girl Galadriel.
Yeah, I love Galadriel.
Seen a lot of talking about my girl Galadriel. Yeah, I love Galadriel.